I just want to interject about a couple of things. You said there was arguing on the road. You said there was some passive-aggressive energy. With age and time, wisdom, reflection can occur. When you ponder the arguing, the passive-aggressive nature of the dynamic, do you take any ownership over that as a band leader, as someone who, in retrospect, maybe could have facilitated things? I know this is getting to be a leading question. I'm not here to blame you. No one put me up to this question, Spencer. I don't want to open old wounds. I'm just curious if you have those thoughts. Like, maybe I could have dealt with that better, or these things kind of just happen. What's your perspective on the arguing, the passive-aggressive nature of the band? The fact that no one even articulated it was done doesn't sound healthy to me. What's your perspective on all of those communication issues that you had?
Well, first of all, the fact that no one articulated it was done, I agree, does sound super unhealthy. I mean, that is a sign that something was like deeply wrong, right?
Yeah.
And it probably took years to recognize that was the case. And by the time I recognized it, it was kind of like the damage was done. Second of all, yeah, I can totally take ownership over the band sort of falling apart. You know, for better or for worse, I was kind of like the leader, and I could have tried to repair things and been better about communicating and asked other people to communicate more. I think I just didn't want to. I think as much as anyone else in the band, I was happy to put it away. But there's a missing part of the story here that I didn't mention the first time around, which is that Camilla Wynn and myself back then, first she joined the band, and then maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, we became a couple. And we're not anymore, and we're fine. And, you know, she's a great friend. But at that point, we became one of those bands where two members are a couple. And I think when that happens, it changes the dynamic of the band so drastically that I think a lot of bands break up that way.
Yeah.
And with a 4-piece band, well, by the time we broke up, we were 5 people on the road. It really creates kind of 2 teams if there's like a band discussion to be had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like 5 people speaking for themselves, Camilla and I became like this power couple, which made the other people in the band probably resent having to address like issues that they were having, because probably her and I were always like on the same side of things, which not necessarily all the time, but you know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
That was just probably the case, and that was probably frustrating for the other people, and we were all pretty young, and it just got kind of messy.